I don't think I do it.
But Arsenal started like a house on fire. Signing number 2 for this new era. It's Judgment Day, people. Yeah! What did your boy tell you? It was never in doubt. Never in doubt.
Don't believe in any luck, I believe I'm self-made, yeah.
Bruh. What we gonna do, people? Oh my God. Leeds United. What are you doing? How mad is it that Southampton are about to appoint the manager that we just sacked and we still ain't got a manager? It's more a case of like, oh, Jesse's going in. This guy is determined to ruin me. He's determined to ruin me and Leeds United. The man took us backwards and now he's going to go to Southampton. We play him in 2 weeks. Listen, it's happening, innit? Southampton will probably win one more game between now and the end of the season, and you know it'll be against Leeds United. I can't deal with it. I can just imagine the USA men's national team accounts coming for me in their droves. That game now, it's the Jesse Marsch derby. It's took on a whole new meaning. Jesse Marsch is set to be appointed by Southampton to replace Nathan Jones. Look, Southampton have a Red Bull model. They wanted him before even Leeds were interested in him quite some time ago. This isn't anything new. It's the style of play that they use. Obviously, Ralph Hasenhüttl's from that same makeup. They're looking at Jesse, the man that he is, in terms of rabble-rousing and getting everyone ready and boosting morale and all that sort of stuff. Probably looking at the job he did with Leeds in terms of, oh, Jesse kept Leeds up. I believe we stayed up in spite of him, not because of him. I still stand by that fact. And they're probably looking at that and feel it's a smart appointment. I'm not sure it is. And I think they'll still go down. But you can almost guarantee that they're going to beat Leeds United. I can't deal with that fact. And listen, Leeds United still are nowhere closer to appointing a manager. Where is he? Where is he? Who is the man? Because they need to pull their finger out. They need to pull their finger out. Because we're still waiting. We're still waiting. And there's a guy over in Saudi Arabia who sat there who would come in and definitely turn this ship around. And okay, you might not like the style of play, but I think we can get results. What's next for LUFC? Leeds have approached former Mexico and Barcelona manager Gerardo Martino. I don't know much about him. There you go. We've been linked with the new manager. This is according to TNT Sports in Argentina. This just hot off the press, folks. Thanks for everyone tagging me in it. You all do a great job when you do that. I don't know much about him. Apparently, as well, Leeds will have to pay $8 million to bring Nuno Espírito Santo to Leeds United. So there's loads of news breaking as I'm live, which is always great, and we'll discuss all that. Sky Sports now reporting that Jesse Marsch is on the verge of becoming Southampton manager. We'll discuss that first of all. We'll then look at the names in the hat for Leeds United. But like I say, as it stands at this moment, Leeds United are not, nowhere closer to appointing the man. I'm going to share my screen with you, as I always like to do, keep it interactive. Here you can see here, just in my bookmark tweets, Fabrizio Romano said that they are close to appointing Jesse Marsch. Parties are discussing the final details of the contract in order to get it done in the next hours or days. Meeting on Monday was positive. This came from the USA men's national team tactical page. They've seemed to have got, quite a lot right about the Jesse situation, and they have their finger on the pulse. Fabrizio Romano jumping on the back of that. They had a meeting Monday. It's gone well. Listen, it really is a poor indictment of our ownership. The fact that Southampton are going to get Jesse in before we've even fucking got a manager. This is the facts of the situation. This is the Athletic article put together by Dan Sheldon, Jacob Tanswell and Phil Hay. This was just over an hour ago, which says that Jesse Marsch is set to replace Nathan Jones as Southampton's new manager. They held initial talks on Monday where the length of his potential contract was discussed. The club have considered it crucial to act fast. I wish ours would do the same. And decisively, I wish ours would do the same. And they want a new manager installed before their next match against Chelsea on February the 18th, which is just 4 days away. Leeds United play on Saturday, same period of time, and we're still sat here waiting. But yeah, it goes on to state Gerrard and Lampard were also considered, but Marsch now looks set to take over at St Mary's with the club currently bottom of the Premier League. Listen, this will be Jesse Marsch's last swan song for me. Let him take the job, obviously. I don't think he gets a tune out of them. And hopefully, they go down. I can't deal with the fact of Leeds United going down potentially and Jesse Marsch keeping Southampton up. Can you imagine that? Like, for me, who's continuously said, not nice things about his management acumen. I think I'd have to quit YouTube at that point, wouldn't I? I think I'd have to quit YouTube. Be interesting to see what the Southampton's perspective on it is, but I don't think the board are really bothered. They signed a load of Man City youth internationals in the summer and then brought in Nathan Jones, and now they're going to Jesse Marsch, who's just failed at Leeds. And that's what he did. He has failed. He won 2 games in 17. Yes, he kept Leeds up, but as I say, the players kept us up. Rafinha kept us up. Look, and like I said just a second ago, this isn't just on the back of that. Southampton have tracked Marsch since his New York Red Bulls. We know that. They favour the Red Bull system, and Ralph Hasenhüttl's obviously from that system as well. They did look to switch to Nathan Jones, but the Southampton team is more suited than to this type of football, should I say, as opposed to what Nathan Jones. Joe Shaw says you could. No, I don't think so, because like I say, Southampton have tracked Marsch for a while. They've seen that he's come available, and obviously pressed the button. Leeds United had their targets. Unfortunately, they weren't available. They were ready. Listen, they were ready to appoint Alfred Schroeder. Our ownership doesn't have a bloody Scooby-Doo. Doesn't have a Scooby-Doo. But there you go. It is what it is. Quickly, like, I've supported them, the trio, and then one by one, it's like fallen off. First it was Rads, then it was Kinnear with his condescending, program notes. I was like, you can't speak to fans like that. I took it personally. Maybe I shouldn't have, but I did. And now Victor's got too much power. In terms of player recruitment, I think he, maybe Rads hangs on his every word. If it weren't for fan reaction, they'd have appointed Schroeder. That's mental. He was ready to come, as was his brother, Dick Schroeder. Both of them were ready to come. They were at the game and all that sort of stuff. And Bully, you could argue this as well, that it's got that desperate for Leeds United that I want Nuno in. I do want Nuno in. I think Nuno would be a great appointment for where we are in the league. But listen, we are now, what is it, 9 days? 9 days since we sacked Jesse Marsch, and we're still no further forward with our manager search. Now, I'm going to share this article put together. I think it might have come from 90minute.com. Listen, I love the lads at 90minute.com, but I don't back their transfer correspondent in Graham Bailey. Is a Leeds hating Middlesbrough fan and doesn't really have a Scooby-Doo. Just my opinion. You don't have to agree with that, but it is just my opinion. So this has come from 90minute.com. Like I say, 90minute.com, the lads themselves are amazing, great content on YouTube, etc. But I'm just not keen on the transfer guys, if you like. So they're claiming that Leeds United would have to pay $8 million to bring in Nuno from Saudi Arabian side Al Attid. I probably butchered that name. Just on the release clause, Leeds United are more than happy to pay. We've seen that with Iriola and stuff. They're more than happy to put up the money. He's currently working with Helder Costa, and amid reports, he and Steven Gerrard are the front runners. I don't believe Steven Gerrard is a front runner for the Leeds United job. I think it's just lazy journalism. We will see that a lot. That you know, Lampard, etc. Lampard would have been linked if it weren't for the club absolutely despising him, the fans anyway. So best believe, you know, that would come out of the woodwork. He would be linked, but they know. Listen, there's no point even putting that link in because. You know, we know for a fact that's definitely not going to happen. They're just fishing with that sort of stuff. But look, 8 days in, this was reported yesterday, so I think we're 9 days in now. And look, the facts are, like the article says, Iriola, Corbrand, Slot have all rejected it. They're talking about Ange Postecoglou. I don't think Leeds have ever been serious about that, so I don't agree with, you know, 5 bosses rejecting it. Gallardo, we know, would be interested, but obviously wouldn't be to the summer. We know that Schrouder, as it says here, that he was there. Victor Orta wanted him, but Radrazani blocked him. I would say as far as to say Radrazani was also on board, but he takes a lot of stock from what's been said on social media. He's probably had a look at the Square Ball Twitter thing that had nearly like 20,000 votes. This wasn't like, you know, half our stadium capacity. You know, they are the go-to Leeds United content creators. I love the Square Ball. I listen religiously, but the majority of the fan base go there for their content. So I think it's a decent barometer. Of course, social media isn't the be-all and end-all, but it was like 90-odd%, I think, in the end for Schrouder not getting the job. So you could argue that Radrazani did want him, but when he seen that, he was like, nah, I'm not going to take that. So the Mail are now reporting that Gerrard and Santo are the main contenders. Like I say, Gerrard's not getting the job. With Nuno, though, it's claimed that he has an 8 million release clause in his contract. And I think if Leeds United are serious about bringing him in, they will pay it. But I'm not quite sure they are. They are serious, if I'm being totally honest. I don't think they are. Obviously, he only lasted 10 league games at Spurs. But listen, Spurs, even Conte, Mourinho, Nuno, struggled to get a tune out of them. But if we look at his time at Wolves, he did well, right? He did well. He got them 2 7th place finishes and also got them to the quarterfinal of a European Cup. That's no joke. That is no joke. Yeah, I've seen the. I didn't know if that was just a joke that someone tagged me, and I thought, oh, they've doctored that. There's no way Leeds United are serious about that. But they wouldn't be. They wouldn't be. Not at all. I don't think. I don't see him. I don't see Solskjaer would never come to Leeds. Like, it's just not happening. Not a chance. Not by any stretch of the imagination. I just want to garner Southampton's fans' opinions too. The news about Jesse Marsch on the posts. I need to have a look at The Athletic for that, just to see what their responses are, because a lot of Fabrizio Romano's tweets are all just people saying Man United news and all this sort of stuff. Yeah, everyone's saying no. Bye Southampton. This man will relegate Saints. Yeah, it's not been met with glowing reception. No, I definitely don't want Southgate, but I'll take Nuno in a month for Sundays. Beggars can't be choosers. We need to be realistic where we are, and I think Nuno keeps us up. There's also this being reported from TNT Sports Argentina. Let's just have a look if I can pull up their specific article. Let me have a look, see if I can find the Leeds United article on there about us approaching former Barcelona manager. I think Oscar tweeted about him earlier this morning, actually, and I didn't really take much notice. I was like, I'm not sure who this guy is. But it looks like it's got some validity, or it's at least been reported over in Argentina. Maybe they'll look to bring in an Argentinian because Bielsa's Argentinian. I don't know. They seem to be on the case of just trying to get favour with the fans at this point, it would seem. I just think if you want favour with the fans, or with me specifically, go get Go get Nuno. That's just me. I just want to have a look at this Martino. Oscar's done a nice little thread on him, and Oscar's a big Barcelona fan, so we'll have a look at that as well. Big shout out to my man Oscar at All Leeds TV. Right, this is an hour ago. Okay, so this again is from Mott Leeds News. It does come from TNT Sports, which is in Argentina. I don't know nothing about this guy, so just bear with me. So Tata Martino, Leeds have approached amazing 60-year-old. He's yet to rule out the role. I did actually see John McKenzie mention something about Tata as well, and I did wonder what he meant. Obviously, I wasn't wise to that. Let me just have a look what he said. I've definitely seen that. Where is it? Let me see. Big up John McKenzie anyway, absolutely doing bits, putting Leeds on the match. On the map, sorry. I can't find it now. He did definitely say Tata. He did definitely, right. But let's have a look at this article. So, Leeds United have made approach for Gerardo, would we say? Martino, with the Argentinian yet to completely rule out the idea of taking over at Ellen Road. It's now more than a week since Marsch was sacked. Leeds have had a turbulent pursuit of a manager, and it does appear that the Whites may not be much closer to replacing the American. A number of names have come and gone from the race, and it does appear that some of the candidates remaining are not the most inspiring options Leeds could target. One name who has new emerged as a target, is Martino. Leeds have now made contact with this 60-year-old about becoming their new manager. He's out of work after leaving Mexico at the end of their disappointing World Cup campaign. Again, that doesn't make for great reading, does it? Disappointing World Cup campaign. But it seems that he is not jumping at the chance to move to West Yorkshire. Well, do one then. Do one. If you don't want the job, do one. He's yet to rule it out. However, he would prefer to take his next role at the end of the season rather than midway through the campaign. This is what we continue to find. Go get someone who wants the job, who'll be willing. Do you know what I mean? Stop going for targets that are unappealing, that are not approachable. And it does say there, Martino would be a risky appointment for Leeds, even if he is a marquee name. His time with Mexico ended badly, and he previously struggled with Barcelona. This is another auto reclamation project. He does encourage his sides to play high-octane attacking football, and he does have that connection to Bielsa, having played under him for Newell's. They have both managed the club as well as the Argentinian national team. It would be a statement to bring him in. Messi has previously described Martino as a phenomenon and an amazing coach, but his next job will be particularly significant after some disappointing years, so you can understand why he may be wary of moving to Leeds United right now. Doesn't fill me with excitement. I can't lie to you. I'm gonna have a look at what Oscar had to say as well, because Oscar obviously being an avid Barcelona fan, I want to see what he's had to say, and I'll share that with you now as well. This is Oscar. He tweeted this out at 10:25. He says, Martino's football isn't close to Bielsa's. That comparison is being made based on him playing under Bielsa at Newell's. I'm not saying he's outright defensive. He isn't, but there's no way you can watch his teams and say they are free-flowing. Having said that, he is another manager where the squad is also well suited to his style, so it has potential to work, especially in the short term. However, this isn't the return of Bielsa's style of football to Ellen Road from what I've seen of his teams. That should say system rather than style. He doesn't really have a specific playing style, often switches between patient possession versus low blocks and sits in versus top sides. Reason I mention all of this is that if Martino was to be appointed, don't expect Bielsa ball. His main strength is building a system around getting the best out of individuals, hence why Messi liked him so much. He was the Argentinian first coach who helped Messi deliver similar levels with Argentina. No disrespect, yeah. Any manager worth their salt should be able to get the best out of Messi. He's the best player in world football, right? Or was. Do you know what I mean? So let's not put that as being amazing. Under Bielsa, everything is played at high tempo. Martino is a much slower tempo and about keeping the ball to move opposition players out of position to free up the main threats in the team. Martino, like Bielsa, does keep his wingers very wide though, which did prove to be a problem at Barca. However, has worked elsewhere. Hasn't worked at Mexico more recently. Big shout out to Oscar there. So I don't know why we. Do you know what it feels like? We're scraping the fecking barrel. This is what we're doing as a club. We are scraping the barrel, and it doesn't really fill me with confidence. I know not everyone wants Nuno, but for me, it just makes sense. And I'm left scratching my head at this point because we're no closer, and we're 9 days in now, 8 days in, whatever it is, and now the club are about to appoint or yeah. But what I would say in regards to this though, just on Nuno, like he won the manager of the month there. He did win the manager of the month there. Okay, his man management, I'm being told by Matt Hayes, and I respect what he says because he's a great guy and knows Tottenham like no other. He said that his man management isn't great. He's very distant. But listen, some players need that. Bielsa was distant. Bielsa was never close with the players. They shouldn't need to be. Okay, sometimes it works, but I think for me, under Jesse, they had too much of it. They had too much of it to the point that it was comical. I still, again, everywhere I keep hearing, still no mention of any player coming out and thanking Jesse. Even in Cooper's program notes, nothing. So it obviously didn't work wonders. You know, blew smoke up their ass. Maybe it worked for the interim, but after that, no. So sometimes players need that. I think maybe our players do need that. It worked under Bielsa. Bielsa was so distant, genuinely. I think so. I'm not too fussed about that. Players, yeah, they don't want coaches in the first 24/7, says Vance, and I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with this with Jamie as well. Like you can't if finishing seventh and 13th is bad man management, get him in the door. And the only reason they finished 13th is because they got to the quarter final of the European Cup. I don't agree with this, Golf Nut. I genuinely don't agree with it. Bringing in Alfred Schroeder, bringing in this new guy who's been linked, is making do. Nuno, for me, actually carries some weight. He's done it in the Premier League. He got a top 6 job. Richard, I think they've had too much of it, bro. I would argue they've had too much of it. They've gone from Bielsa, who didn't really engage at all, let's be realistic, to someone who engaged far too much. So maybe Nuno's that happy medium. Maybe. You know, maybe he has. We'll have a look into more detail now at his record. I think we'll have a look at his record, but his most recent jobs have obviously not gone well, to the point that, you know, he's left post, like with the Mexico job, didn't have a great World Cup. But we'll have a look at his record. I don't know much about him, as I say. Had I have known this was going to break, I'd have done a bit of due diligence. But obviously, I didn't know. It wasn't until I came live that people. Yeah, this is what I mean. This is what I don't understand. I don't think people. This is just my opinion. This is just my opinion. I don't think people understand the current predicament we find ourselves in at this moment in time. At this moment in time, the club are about to appoint Marks. This is why I'm banging the Nuno drum. They were about to give the job to this Alfred Schroeder. They literally was about to give him the job. Had it not been for Leeds United fans' reaction, he'd have got the job. So this is what I'm saying. At this point, we can't be going, oh, we want this man, we want that man, we want this man. Because at the end of the day, the club were about to appoint a Mark. Let's have a look at Martino's record then. We'll go to Wiki. Nuno, like True Tonic says, Nuno is light years ahead of the guy who nearly ended up. I'm confident he was keepers up, plays wide in attack and shows up defence. Sounds perfect for a squad. I agree with you as well. People disagree with me or know more about the game than me, and I do listen to what they say. But like from a player perspective, and I put players into certain positions, I do think it would work. But that's just my opinion. There are people that know much more about the game than me. Yeah, and I think too much credence is given to that, isn't it, mate? Too much credence is given to the fact that Nuno did poor at Spurs. Mourinho did poor at Spurs. Conte is doing poor at Spurs. These are not bad managers. They're not bad managers. It's just Spursy, innit? Let's be real. It's very Spursy. I think I didn't realise you'd asked once, mate, but you can ask again. I think it's the Premier League, bro. It's the Premier League. By all accounts, he'd be open to a move. It's the Premier League, bro. That's why Ronaldo took as long as he did to go over there, bro. Because he wanted a top European club, but he don't realise he's not about that life anymore. And then he got the move over there. He said to everyone, you know, it was coming out on bloody Piers Morgan and that he will not go there. No, I'm still top player. And then he went there in the end. Of course, Nuno didn't go well at Spurs. Nice little couple of months, 18 months, whatever it is over in there. Fill up the bank balance. But the guy wants to succeed in management. You know what I mean? I think, of course, he would come. It's not all about money. He's earned enough of it. They get paid a lot. He was a player himself. Nuno will be living nice. Do you know what I mean? It's all about, you know. Yeah, Mark, this is what I don't understand. Yeah, the style of play. But for me, under our current guys, under the current systems we're employing, we're finding ourselves in a situation where we can't progress up that table. We can't progress up that table, and we could well be in a situation where we're going to be always treading water, whereas Nuno comes in and shows us up and gets us up the table. I do believe that. I do believe that, and I know it's so far removed from what Bielsa gave us, etc. And you know, I'm a big lover of that, and I didn't really like Jesse Ball. I still don't like Jesse Ball. If it was getting results, I wouldn't have been asked. I'd have still made the odd critique. But when you're winning, who cares? And you know, Southampton, Chelsea, it was amazing. Liverpool, it was amazing without us actually playing really well. You know, Bournemouth at that moment in time, you come back, you win for free, amazing. But let's be realistic, we should never be 3-0 down at home to Bournemouth. So you can forgive it when you're winning, but if Nuno came in and got results for Leeds United, I think we'd all be sound. Trust me. The thing is as well, right? I look at appointments that they're looking at. Say if we go to Gerardo Martino, who's the latest link now, right? For me, there is so much importance on Everton versus Southampton. He has to hit the ground running. This is genuinely my opinion. If Nuno came in and we lost to Everton, I still won't be concerned. Because I look at the rest of the games, Palace, Brighton, Chelsea, other games where I think, you know what? Nuno can get us points in them. Nuno or even a Rafa can go and shithouse points in them. Even get point draws, 1-0s. But whereas if someone who's got a certain specific style, because for me, like, look what Dyche did, right? I know they got beat by Liverpool yesterday. You know, it could have been so different had Tarkowski's, you know, goal gone in, Liverpool go up the other end. But in 4 days, he was able to put together a plan that nullified the top team in the Premier League in Arsenal. Because I think listen, I'm not a manager, I'm not a tactician, but I think it's easier for a manager to come in and say, right, this is what we're going to do, you know? We're going to defend first kind of vibe, you know what I mean? Whereas when you need to implement a certain type of style, i.e. Gallardo, Martino, Slot, all these people, and the football's amazing. It takes a bit of time. You need pre-season. This is why top managers say, yeah, no, I'll take the job. But at the end of the season, because I want like 6 weeks where I can work with the team. Do you know what I mean? So I think when Nuno comes in, even if we lost to Everton. I still fancy us to go and get results against top opposition. That's just my opinion. Ishita, you keep asking me questions, bro. I'll answer it for you. Fourth time. Nuno did better with Wolves than Bielsa did with Leeds. I mean, he got them into Europe and that, but we're on about stylistically. I'll never have a bad word said about Bielsa, bro. He was the guy that gave me the best football I've ever experienced at Ellen Road. You know what I mean? I'm never going to turn on that. You can try, but I'm never going to turn on that. Let's have a look at his managerial record then. Obviously spent a lot of time in Argentina. I believe that might be Paraguay. Yeah, over in Paraguay for a couple of seasons again. So a lot of it's been spent in the South American market, which again doesn't fill me with confidence, if I'm being honest. I don't know if that does for you, but I look at a manager who spent so long in the South American market. Why is that not translated over to European football? So a lot of his time, 3 clubs in Argentina, then to Paraguay, then back to Argentina. Actually managed the national side, then back and Newell's, great, relationship with Newell's. Then he got the Barca job on the back of that. 59 games, won 40, quite a decent win percentage. I don't know why it went wrong for him at Barcelona. We'll try and do some digging on that. Maybe it was just because he took the Argentina job. Then he was over in MLS. And then got the Mexico job. No, man, I'm not feeling that. I'm sorry. Call me. I don't know what the word. I'm being a bit snobbish because it's the Premier League, but I don't know. I'm not looking at that. Tyler Lee, totally incorrect. The board wanted rid of him as well. There was one man backing him to the end because his ego won't allow him to go, do you know what? I got it wrong. Ishta, man, why are you hung up on this guy? Like, why are you still talking about him? It was 2 managers ago now. You clearly dislike Bielsa, which I don't understand. Preach it, Andy, preach it. Last game, they were fighting. Fans were fighting each other. Actually fighting. So, yeah. I mean, I disagree with that. I disagree with that wholeheartedly, bro. He was these clubs might have not gone well for him, but he had a great, he was at Athletic Bilbao, mate. Took them, deep into Europe, beating Manchester United on the road. Had a certain specific type of style. He did. Yeah, preach it, Jack. Get a life. Get over it. Let's have a look. Well, this one, it says, according to Wiki as well, just to have a look at that. Martino prefers to play a very high pressing and attacking style of football. At Barca, Martino continued the club's preferred style of play, tiki-taka, along with his own tactics. Can we play tiki-taka? I'm not too sure. All of Martino's teams have the same distinguishable traits. They play attacking-minded football. They are creative, and the style is based on quick passing. In addition, Martino's teams also pressure high up the pitch, play out from the back, and depend on their youth system. Well, it's almost is Bielsa, isn't it? That goes against what Bielsa. Sorry, not Bielsa. What Oscar said, but Oscar will have watched him under Barca. Let's just have a look at, because he had a decent win percentage at Barcelona. So I just want to read what went wrong there. Martino became the first coach in Barca history to not lose a game in his first 16 matches. Not bad. After conceding the 13-14 La Liga title on the last day of the season to Atletico Madrid, Martino announced he was to leave his role after just 1 year in charge, during which he did not manage to win any major trophy except the Spanish Super Cup. Don't know why he chose to leave. Then was it the Argentinian job that he was going to? Has the club approached Nuno or anyone else? We've approached many managers. I don't know if we've actually approached Nuno. I wish we would. That'd be my preference at this point. I've been tagged in a tweet. What's this? Last week, Sky Sports News reported that Rayo Vallecano blocked. There you go. This is being reported over in Spain now as well. Football España, let me just share this one with you. So this is from Football España that says, last week Sky Sports News reported that Rayo Vallecano had blocked a move for manager Iriola, who had an offer from Leeds. Sporting director David Cabano has confirmed that Iriola turned down the offer. I don't know how true that is, because we were led to believe it was just a case of Leeds were unable to get him to agree to enact his release clause, but David Cabano maybe has confirmed that Iriola turned. Either way, we know that Iriola's not coming, right? We all knew that anyway. Otherwise, he'd already be in the door. We then went to Holland, and we couldn't get. We went to Holland, and ultimately we couldn't get bloody Slot to agree to come, etc. So it's all been a bit of a nightmare, really, hasn't it? Solskjaer's betting's been suspended apparently at Paddy Power. He's not coming to Leeds United, not a chance. I just wish they'd pull the finger out of the arse. I just don't know where we go, really, because I don't think even they know, do they? I don't think even they know. That's the situation that we find ourselves in now. Ultimately, Leeds United are in limbo, and it's that limbo that's going to do us. Look, it's now Tuesday. We're hearing no noise about an acquisition. So I don't see that happening tonight. So it's another day gone. Wednesday, you're already midway through the week. It's hump day, and we've got Everton, at 3:00. 3:00 on Saturday. Huge game. Going to their ground. They've got 3 points in 2 against Arsenal and Liverpool. It's a good return. They'll be back at home. And whilst we're messing around trying to get a manager, Dyche has already got them in working on a plan. Working on a plan to beat Leeds United, to combat Leeds United. Do you know what I mean? This is where we're at. It is panic station time. It is panic stations time. Like, I'm comfortable with Scoobs coming in, but if we were to lose the game, like I'm comfortable with Scoobs taking the team, but if we were to lose the game, I just think it'd be even worse. Like, pure panic. He did well against Manchester United, but if we maybe step back a little, and I'm sort of giving Jesse praise here, or more so the system and maybe the team. We've done well this season against better opposition. It's the bottom sides that we've struggled against. Will we have enough quality to break down a low block that Everton will sit in and look to get us on the counter? Do we have the quality to do that? I'm not sure, and that's what worries me. That's what worries me about Saturday's game. It could be a tough afternoon for Leeds. Do you take a ball? Obviously need all 3, but do you take a point away from Goodison? It'll be a tough place to go for any team this season. That's where they'll get most of their joy under Dyche. So it's going to be interesting to see how Skubala takes that on. Katniss White said, would you take Bielsa back? Yeah, 100%. In a minute, mate. In a minute. The club would just, like, it shows how bad they treat him, though, that they can't even go there. It shows how bad they treat him, how eager he was to take a Premier League job. The fact that he's not returning calls from Radrizzani to have the training ground named after him, and that. It's all just treat him like shit, didn't they? But it is what it is. I just don't know where we go from here. I hope we're getting Nuno, but there's no real validity. He's been in the running since the start. I think Phil might have mentioned him once or twice, but not with any sort of... And since we've actually moved on from some of these managers, you'd think they might have turned there, but no, they haven't. And all that's been reported now is about Nuno and Gerard. Then they're talking about, the guy at Barcelona, Gerardo Martino, or Tata, as he's called. we'll have to wait and see. As more news breaks, I'll bring it to you, as I say. But I was hoping we might see a little bit more credibility on links today. Maybe that is Tata. Maybe this we'll hear more throughout the day. And you know, I'll come back live later on. Let me just say to everyone as well, happy Valentine's Day. I hope you got yeah, I know he managed Barcelona, but he left Barcelona, and I don't think outside of that he's done well. His most recent job with Mexico didn't go well. So I don't want a manager who's just failed. Now you could argue, some might say to me, well, Nuno failed at Spurs, but I know who Nuno is. I've seen you know what he's done with Wolves, how he got them into Europe, quarter-final of a cup. You know, getting a top 6 job in the first place, that ultimately Spurs fans, he was never the right man for them. They needed a Conte, etc. And even he can't get a tune out of them. He's had some time away. By all accounts, he's had new ideas. You know, and then he comes. But Chris says, you've made your bed, Joe, now lie in it. I mean, I don't make the decisions. Had the club have listened to me sooner, bro, then we'll be sound. If you're coming on trying to back Jesse, then that's a mad one. You must be one of the USA men's national team accounts, I assume. But we'll see in it. We'll see in 2 weeks when Jesse gets tortured at Ellen Road. We'll see in it. Yeah, no, Niall, I am. I've not come on here and said. I've not come on here and said that I have watched him. I'm not professing. I'm just going off what I've read. As I said, that story broke. That story broke as I came live. Normally I do, you know, watch some YouTube clips, do a bit more due diligence. I've not had the opportunity to do that. Having a look at what Oscar said, who's a Barcelona fan, he said it's not similar to Bielsa. It's just because he's Argent, you know, all that sort of stuff. But if you're saying different, I will check it out. As I say, his playing style, according to Wiki, is, you know, very expansive, pressing high up. Niall says he's better than Iriola by far. We shall wait and see. We shall wait and see, and hopefully more will come out about him. And if there is some more credible links, we'll definitely come back live a little bit later on. As it stands, Jesse's going to Southampton, getting a job before we've even bloody replaced him. And yeah, Leeds United are going to be again banking on Skubala to get us something on the weekend. And listen, if Skubala does, they'll give him the job. I think if he beats Southampton, they'll give him a job, and I'll be okay with that. But it's a massive risk. It's a massive risk. You've only to look at what's gone on at Bournemouth. You know, Gary O'Neill did great, got the job. They're going down. Do you know what I mean? And I just worry that might happen. Damar thinks Skubala won't accept it. He might not, bro. He genuinely might not, but I think it'd be too much of an opportunity for him to turn down. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. It's going to be a mad few days, isn't it? While we hunt for the manager, and obviously Everton at the weekend is you just can't lose. You cannot lose that game. You can't lose that game, and then you've got Southampton, who are going to have Jesse Marsch in charge. Southampton go to Chelsea. Chelsea not in great form. Imagine Jesse starts off with a win. Oh my God. And we're still scraping around trying to find him. And the club need to pull the finger out and do it quick. Listen, I'll leave it there. Listen, happy Valentine's Day to you all. I'll probably be live a little bit later on because there'll probably be some more news as the day develops. It is still pretty early. Enjoy your dinner. Enjoy Valentine's Day. And I will see you on the other side. Peace.